Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We've got you covered with a whole lot of sporting stories in the Nigerian sporting world this morning on the show. We'll normally talk about Nigerian sports, but we've got some foreign stories because they say charity begins at home. We have to look at our own stories. We have to talk about it. If we don't, no one will help us to talk about it, and we will be starting from Delta State, Asaba, where the 8th edition of the National Youth Game is ongoing. Yes, a big one where talents are being scouted, where talents are getting the next Blexing or Kabari, the next Toby Amuson, the next Ese Brume, the next Ezekiel Nathaniel, and Dubem Amene and Co. Eyakobinye, who was discovered from the National Sports Festival, and a whole Justina, Prestina or Chunogo and Co. Right now, the 8th edition of the National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State is getting hotter. All of the South teams, state teams are doing well, right there with other state teams that are presenting their various states in the 8th edition of the National Youth Games. Delta States, they want to host and win, and they are definitely leading the charge on the medals table. All right, that is the first story we'll be looking at starting from this morning. Host leads medals table as games enters day 7. Today, Monday, is day 7 of the National Youth Games. We have Asaba Delta, that is Delta State, topping the medals table with a total of 14 medals. They have 8 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze, followed by their neighboring state, Edo State, who has 10 medals in total with 5 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Oyo from the southwest is on the third with 4 gold, 2 silver, and 0 bronze. Abia State comes fourth with 3 gold, 0 silver, and 0 bronze. And Bayelsa State is in the 5th position with 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, making the top 5 on the medals table. For Team FCT, we are still on the position 22 on the medals table, and we'll be definitely looking at because gymnastics is FCT area of strength, and we want the team to go further. All right, I have Abba Michael if he's ready to join. Okay, when he's ready, he will be joining us on the show this morning. And all right, for Team Delta, they want to host and win the last edition, the 7th edition. They hosted and they won. This time around, they are still going. They are looking like a state that is going to win it, because from day one of this competition of the event, they maintain that first position on the medals table, entering day 7 of games at the national 8th edition of this particular event. Is our own mini Olympics, that is for the young ones and age grade Olympics here in Nigeria. For Delta State, they want to host. They hosted the 7th edition and they won it, and now they are hosting the 8th edition back to back, and they're looking like a state that is going to be winning. Well, definitely I can't say they are going to win because the games are not over yet. Today is day 7. We can just see a state who is on the 10th position, 11, 12, 13, just winning maybe 10 gold medals at a stretch, and toppling Delta State on the medals table. But that is what it is for Delta State. They are one state that loves, they have passion for sports, they love sports, and no wonder they signed an MOU. They signed an MOU with the Federal Ministry of Sports to host the National Youth Games for the next 4 years. So the next edition they will host it, the other edition they will host it. So they will be hosting for the next 4 years. They will be hosting the National Youth Games, and which is a good one. Is an avenue to at least to scout for talents, catch them young, and represent the state, and also at the national level when we go for various competitions out there in the world. And kudos to all of the states and FCT that is participating on the 8th edition of the National Youth Games going on in Asaba. So I've just gave you the top 5 states on the medals table. Delta, Edo, we have Oyo, we have Abia, and we have Bayelsa making the top 5 states on the medals table. Other states are still looking for their own medals, gold medals, silver, bronze, and what have you. And FCT also looking to get gold, at least this time around, to push up on the medals table. So FCT is our own, and we're going to we need to actually talk about the FCT because Trust TV is based here in Abuja. So we need to look at Team FCT. They've not been doing bad. Like I said, their area of strength, Team FCT area of strength is gymnastics, though they've gotten medals in karate, and then in taekwondo they've gotten medal in karate. So we are looking forward to when gymnastics fully starts, and we believe gymnastics is going to start fully today, and we should be expecting a lot of medals for Team FCT in that particular sport. You know, gymnastics has more than 13 medals in the sports. You win on each apparatus, you win a medal for each apparatus. It's called apparatus, and the boys, the guys, they will be participating in all of the apparatus. We have the pummel horse for the guys, we have a beam, we have uneven bar, we have the floor, we have the rings for guys, a whole lot of apparatus for gymnastics, and each of the apparatus, like I said, there is a medal accorded to it. So we are expecting Team FCT to start raking in medals, gold medals in gymnastics event. All right, let's leave the National Youth Games and go straight to Pretoria, that is South Africa, where the Afro Basket under 18 has just been concluded in the course of the weekend. We have our own Nigerian under 18 team, D Tigers and the D Tigers and the D Tigress, doing us proud. For the D Tigers, they bow out of the competition, but for the D Tigress, they went all the way to the final and they lost to Mali in that competition. And for the Malians, they beat the guys and the girls, that is, they beat our both teams, male and female teams, at this particular event in Pretoria, South Africa. And now the president of the Nigerian Basketball Federation, Musa Kida, louds Nigeria outing at this particular event. Like I said, Nigeria D Tigress suffered a 76-56 loss in the final to that's in the women's category to Mali. But despite that, they were able to hold their own. They did so well. The guys bowed from the quarterfinal, and the ladies had to push it through all to the finals of the competition. And we just wish this team, wish them very well, and it's an avenue to at least draft these ones into the senior team, that's the senior D Tigress team and the senior D Tigers team. Good one for them and good outing. That is why the Federation President Musa Kida is coming out to give them thumbs up, to at least congratulate them and tell them job well done for even getting to the finals. That's for the women at all is a good one, and for the guys, they got to the final despite getting to the tournament late on, and they were able to get to the quarterfinal. That's for the junior D Tigers, I beg your pardon, they lost in the quarterfinal. But for the women, guys, the junior D Tigers, they went all the way to the final and they lost to Mali. Mali beat both men and women's team in this particular competition. I believe we will at least have something to cheer. We will bounce back in the next edition. And you know, in this particular edition, it's for the team to qualify, is for qualification to the FIBA Under 19 World Tournament that is bid for Switzerland later on in the year. So we are looking forward to see our junior D Tigress doing so well, maybe definitely at the World Tournament in Switzerland later on. It's just it's a way of qualifying this team, and it has been a good one. Nigeria has won, for the guys, they've won this particular tournament 3 good times alongside Egypt. They've won it more than any other team. We were looking for our 4th title, but eventually the junior D Tigers lost in the quarterfinal of the competition. All right, we'll move away from that story and quickly look at this story. But before we look at this story, we'll be taking this highlight. We'll look at the game against Venezuela, that is the FIFA Under 20 Women's World Cup. Nigeria defeated Venezuela in their last game to qualify for the round of 16, where they lost to Japan. But the story is the team is back in the country. But before we look at that story, we look at their performances at the World Cup. Let's quickly take this highlight in their last Group D game against Venezuela. We'll be bringing it up shortly, and we'll look at that highlight against the Falconets, as against the Venezuelan team. That is, they did so well in the tournament, and they got to the round of 16 and they lost to Japan. All right, we'll be bringing up that highlight quickly, and we'll be right back.
It's day 8 of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia. Venezuela and Nigeria head-to-head in the hope of reaching the last 6.
Delightful goal from Joy Igbokwe. I believe he's going to be contesting for at least the best goal of the tournament. That was a very good one from Joy Igbokwe. It was 4-0 against Venezuela in their last Group D game, and they played Japan in the round of 16 and we lost to the Junior Nadesheko of Japan 2-1. That game ended 2 goals from Japan, one as in each goal coming in each of the half. The first goal coming in the first half, and the second goal in the second half of the encounter. Nigeria got their goal in at 90 plus. The girls actually pulled all they can to see if they can level things and stretch that game maybe to extra time and probably penalties, but it didn't actually happen for the Falconets, and they bow out of the competition from the round of 16. And this team arrived the country just early hours of this morning, all the way from Colombia, holding at least they gave a very good account of themselves. Well, going out from the round of 16 of this tournament is not what from the quarterfinals, I beg your pardon, is not what the team actually wanted. But you know, football, you win some and you lose some. So for the Falconets, they came back. They are back in the country. At least we can just give them a very, let me say, a handshake and give them a pat on the back and tell them, job well done. A lot of countries, they came. Some of the countries crashed out from the group stage, but at least we were able to get to the quarterfinal of the tournament. The first time we'll be having 24 teams partaking in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, and Nigeria has participated in every edition of this particular World Cup. All right, we have Abba Michael joining us on the show this morning. Abba Michael, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
Thank you very much, Fash.
Okay, let me quickly take you back. I know you have one or two you'll be itching to say something about. We started from the National Youth Games, and then we look at Musa Kida giving a thumbs up to our junior basketball team, the Junior D Tigers and the Junior D Tigers. Quickly, one or two about the two stories we started with before we look at the Falconets.
Yes, thank you very much, Musa Kida, for the thumbs up. Thank you very much for the encouragement of our athletes. But I must confess, it shows that the league that we have not been having for the basketball is actually affecting even the cadet team. And that's why we can't have a formidable cadet team that is bright, whose future is bright. I mean, for our Afro basket, for our D Tigers of the future, it shows that there is a dip in form for our athletes, for our basketball players at the young age, trying to get to the top. For them not to be able to get to that peak, they needed to qualify for the finals in order to make it, I mean, to the FIFA Under-18 World Cup. They couldn't do it. But we must give kudos to, I mean, Coach Juliana Negedu, who also happens to be my neighbor those days. She did a great job for the junior, the Tigress. They've been able to make it to the finals. They also lost to the Malian counterparts, just the way our male did. But our male lost, I think, in the quarterfinals. But the ladies got all the way to the finals, which is the most important to secure a World Cup bet, which I must confess that what Wakama is doing, what the female basketball coach at the Tigers senior level is doing is being replicated at the junior level. And now Coach Negedu is doing a great job. So for the female angle, we've gotten it right. But for the male, I think we still have hitches here and there, perhaps due to the crisis.
Okay, perhaps due to the crisis, we just want our basketball back up and running. All right, we also looked at the National Youth Games going on in Asaba, the 8th edition. This is a place, a ground where talents, the junior ones, are scouted for the various states and then probably prepare them to represent the country, maybe when we have a bigger event in the world.
Yes, I mean, the biggest one for me is the biggest revelation, not just in the African continent, but the world at large. Nigeria is the proud owner of the Los Angeles Olympics gold medalist at the long jump event. A certain Odo Kelvin, I think of Delta, if I'm not mistaken, leaped to a 7.13 meters, distance in the long jump, which is a world record. No child has ever leaped beyond 6.23 meters.
Yeah.
I mean, this calls for celebration. This is a time to hold firm, hold tight, train that kid, give him all the attention before another country comes to snatch him. I mean, we saw our shot put, we saw somebody collecting medal. I think Germany collected medal on our behalf.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it in other sports, especially at the Olympics. If we don't hold this boy tight before Los Angeles, he will either be jumping for Ireland or he will be jumping for Qatar or Bahrain. So if we want to cry further, another Jackpot syndrome will happen to us. So I pray that the AFN, Solomon Ogba, please, as former AFN president and then present vice president of NOC, please grab this boy with your two arms, encourage him, give him the motivation he needs so that we can return Choma Ajuwa's gold medal back to Nigeria after 30-something years in Los Angeles 2028. So big kudos to Delta State. They have always shown that they're the powerhouse of athletics, and that's why they keep delivering with 8 golds. And of course, Edo followed suit. Big kudos. This is truly a revelation. We pray that more and more athletes will be discovered as the game unfolds on day 7 or day 8.
Yes, as the game unfolds, as he enters day 7, and for that young man, that fantastic kid, he's holding a world record. We just have to get it right, give this guy the exposure he needs, train him, and in Los Angeles 2028, we are sure that we'll be getting a medal when it comes to the men's long jump. All right, let's go back to the story. The Falconets are back in the country, Michael. They have a very good outing. They played 3 games in group during the group fixtures, and they lost 1 and winning 2. They lost to the German machine in their second group game, and then they were able to dispatch Venezuela 4-0 in their last game to qualify for the quarterfinals. And we met the junior Nadasheko from Japan. It was 2-1 against the Falconets of Nigeria. But as you speak, they are back to the country. They were welcomed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport.
We got a consolation goal, but that was not enough. I mean, the coaches, sometimes you don't wait for the team to collapse or capitulate before responding. That's why a team needs to be deep, so that when there's no creativity in the midfield, somehow you'll be able to bring in a player who will be able to bring in that creativity and reduce the tension behind. Somehow we weren't just able to connect, but we've had a decent outing so far, and welcome the girls back, encourage them. Perhaps it's not their luck. Football sometimes can be a game of luck, but preparation matters a lot. I think they still need more preparation. They still need lots of coaching, lots of strategic approach to games like this. But kudos to the girls. At least they did well.
Okay, at least they did well. Yeah, from your own point of view, do you want Coach Christopher Danjuma to continue with this team? On this show, someone mentioned that he has stayed there for long, and there is the need for change. I don't know if you agree with that assertion.
Yes, I also join my voice with the voices of those clamoring for a change. Sometimes when you know that the girls are talented enough, you know that we have a solid team, but the results, we're not churning out the expected results. I think it's time to look inwards, perhaps take a different dimension, take a different approach. Maybe we may just find that cutting edge, but I don't think it's a bad idea for a change of coach, because it's all about results. Coaching job is the most phenomenal job in the world. Today you are in this team, tomorrow you are in another team. So yes, I know Danjuma is a good coach, but I wouldn't mind if the gong changes hand, because we need to see something new. We need something novel, so as to revamp and resuscitate this team.
Okay, we need something new. All right, let's leave that story. We're still looking at our national teams, our football teams this time around. And now, one man definitely, CAF honored him by inviting him for the coaches symposium in Cote d'Ivoire. He was among the 50 coaches that attended that symposium in Cote d'Ivoire. Former Super Eagles coach, a man that took us to the AFCON 2023 final in Cote d'Ivoire, that is Jose Peseiro, now has given reason why he left the Super Eagles, job. That is Jose Peseiro, and the reason was that fatigue, that is tiredness, setting in, and he actually needed to rest. That was the reason he gave leaving that position as the Super Eagles coach. A whole lot of us were looking at maybe the contract. No agreement was, he couldn't come into agreement with the NFF, but now he said no, it was because of stress and what have you, work stress. He needed to just take time to rest. Michael, the man has actually come out to give reasons why he couldn't continue with the Super Eagles job.
Yes, I mean, let's call it what it is. He faced lots of guns blazing. He faced lots of ammunition thrown at him. I mean, at a point in his life, he was wondering, am I really born to be a coach? Because he received fires from all cylinders. I mean, Nigerians criticized him publicly before the world. We humiliated him. We made him look like the worst coach we have ever had. Yeah. And then somehow, the god of football smiled at him during the AFCON. I mean, he took the team all the way to the finals, and just silly mistakes made us to lose out. I mean, he had opportunity to laugh at Nigerians, I mean, for mocking and scorning at him. And I think he decided, in that case, I should leave the stage when the ovation is loudest. I don't think it's more about, I know there was contract issues, that they couldn't arrive at a compromise, but I believe the crisis he faced prior to that AFCON finals, he already made up his mind that regardless of the result, he was going to leave. And so I don't want to rub it on issue of contract, but I want to rub it on the fact that he needed to heave a sigh of relief and say at least he took the Super Eagles to the finals. That, to me, was a big one for him. Now he can go and nobody will condemn him again, I mean, for any misfortunes of the Super Eagles. After all, Finidi couldn't even withstand 2 months. He ran away. So imagine what Peseiro has faced in the last couple of years.
Okay, let's look at the Super Eagles. Let me take your thought on the Super Eagles team. This present team we have right now, we don't still have a coach, no substantive coach yet, but we have Ugwevon, who took charge on an interim basis in the 2 games we played against Benin Republic and the Bees, that is the Amavubis of Rwanda, right there in Kigali. Looking at those 2 games and looking at the team, how comfortable are you with the team? And if we can actually hold this team, continue with this team, though we don't have any changes, it is the regular faces, just 1 or 2 additions and some returnees into the team. And Ugwevon's performance with the team alongside Daniel Ogumondede and Fidelis Elechukwu. What's your general assessment from the 2 games on Super Eagles?
Yeah, I think I saw a team that has improved. I saw a team that has looked inwards. I saw a team that has done a little homework. You know, sometimes your team may be all right, the team may get it right, but the goals may not flow. Against Rwanda, I think that was just the cutting edge that was missing. But I see a team that is recomposed. I see a team on reset. I see a team trying to refine its missing parts, refines its team, and the team is gradually getting back, reclustering together to give us that vibe that took them to the AFCON finals. I'm glad that Egwavon took over the team. I know he's been criticized in the past for some kind of performances, I watched him in AFCON 1994 as a solid, I think, a defender that year, even though he was known for getting some red cards. But I think Eguavon somehow has upped his ante in terms of coaching. And we are seeing an improved version of Eguavon. I just pray that it's not a fluke because 3-0 in the first game and then a barren draw in the second game. It shows that the team has got it locked in from the defensive angle and the midfield angle. The strike force is not completely comfortable yet. There's a little complacency. Thank God Lukman is still good. Osimhen is still good. He has moved to Galatasaray. Our team is still properly formed. I'm glad with the addition of Ilechukwu as one of the assistants. You need, a tactical know-how experts to be able to give us that, what we need. And I think the team is gradually finding its vibe. Let's just be patient. I believe with time, we will be proud of these Eagles once again.
Okay. For Austin Ogwevon, he is the technical director of the NFF. Now, if he wants to coach the Super Eagles, he need to at least vacate that position and then apply for the job.
All right, we just touched down at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Abuja. The Eagles have arrived, and of course,
the MPFL last season, and Remo Stars were runners-up, and these two coaches were given were saddled with the responsibility to assist Austin Ogwevon. Now, if maybe Pyro that we don't get any coach, can these three guys continue with the Super Eagles? Do they really have what it takes to at least steer the ship of the Super Eagles right now?
I believe they have what it takes. The Nigerian domestic league is a very difficult one, where you need every match matters, where the winner gets decided on the second to the last match day or even the last match day. That tells you that there's a lot of technicalities that comes with it. And if we have the best two in the business, joining forces with the technical director, I see it as a good step in the right step in the right direction. I believe they have the fortitude to do the needful. They have the skill set, to bring this team together. They're all authorities as far as coaching is concerned. As long as Eguavon has a listening ear to allow these assistant coaches make their input, why not? The sky is the limit. I hope they even allow them flourish together for some time. Let's give them some time and see what they need to do. But for Eguavon, he may need to reconsider applying for these
mischievous headlines.
Because you cannot double cast on that scene. He needs to focus on the coaching, which is what he's doing right now. He just needs to make it official so that we can see if we can have a better version of Eguavon compared to the ones we've had in the past.
Okay, compared to the one we have in the past. Now, let's leave Austin Ogwevon and look at the Nigerian Premier Football League. It is match day 2. Match day 1, 18 goals and 3 away wins in match day 1 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. And now we had match day 2 on the course of the weekend. Actions all across the various venues in the country. And we also had draws in match day 2 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. The continental teams were not in action. The likes of Rangers International and Enyimba of Aba were not in action for match day 2 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. All right, we'll be bringing up the result. It's just 2 games right now, and we'll quickly look at those results and x-ray them and look at what it is for match day 2 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We have Aqua United and Abia Warriors playing a 1-1 draw right there at the Eket Township Stadium in Eket. We have Bayelsa United and Kano Pillars also playing a 1-1 draw. We will be bringing you the highlights of that particular game, Bayelsa United against Kano Pillars at the Samson Siasia Yenigua Stadium in Bayelsa State. And then for Katsina United, they left it late. They defeated Bendel Insurance, the Benin Arsenals 2-1. And Niger Tornadoes are playing their first game in their renovated stadium, refurbished, brand new stadium. That is the Kontangora Stadium in Mina, playing a goalless draw with Nasarawa United. And also Shooting Stars were ahead at home. Shooting Stars of Ibadan by Plateau United 1-1. And then we have Rivers United teaching Heartland FC of Owerri 3-1. The two Nigerian legends, that is Emmanuel Emunke and Finidi George, facing off in that particular game right there at the Adokia Masimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt. It ended 3-1 in favor of Rivers United against Heartland FC of Owerri. Emmanuel Emunke and Finidi George going head-to-head in that game. And then Remo Stars in the Southwest Derby. Remo Stars of Ikenne in Ogun State pipped their neighbors, Sunshine Stars of Akure, 1-0 in that game. Michael, match day 2 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We have 4 draws in match day 2 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. 1 home win, 2 home win, but no away win in match day 2. I think the Nigerian Premier Football League is getting interesting and very interesting week in, week out.
Yes, I mean, it's obvious, it is clear that teams could pick draws away. I mean, Nigerian Professional Football League is very, very funny and lopsided at times. Is you always see the home teams always grinding out the victory. If they are not winning, then a penalty will be given to them so that the referee can live their life. That has been the situation in the past. But I'm glad that teams will come and secure an away draw, and there will be peace in the atmosphere. I mean, we must give kudos to Agbenga Elegbele to ensure that the securities have been tightened up at the various match venues. We have been having a cordial, peaceful end of match results. I'm glad for my own Plateau United being able to get a draw against 3SC. Plateau actually drew first blood, and then somehow, I think at the 45th minute, extra time in first half, 3SC were able to recover. We're glad that we're able to see, I mean, look at Niger, Nasarawa United are gradually getting their groove back. We're seeing them, I mean, securing an away draw. We saw Aqua and Abia Warriors also, I think, having a draw. And just some of the teams were able to grind out victory. We're happy for, I mean, Emmanuel Emunke. He has shown Finidi George that I am the boss. Nevertheless, Heartland just came back from building. I want to believe that if you had switched places between Emunke and Finidi George, the results would have still been the same. I mean, if I remember very well, Finidi George was also there in recent times. So let's not rub it on Finidi George that you are taking your failure from Super Eagles, I mean, to the NPFL. No, that is not the case. Heartland is just recuperating, coming back from relegation, I think, the season before. So it's a good one for Emmanuel Emunke. That was our own candidate for the Super Eagles job, but we're glad that he's not out of job and he's still there doing his thing, perhaps at the NPFL level.
Okay, doing his thing at the NPFL level, and it was all smiles and a good one for the coach of Bayelsa United. You saw that highlight between Kano Pillars and Bayelsa United at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, in match day 2 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. These were good games all around the country during match day 2, and for Nasarawa United and Niger Tornadoes, it was a goalless draw, and I believe Niger Tornadoes would have wanted all the 3 points because they are playing in their stadium for the very first time for a while now. They've not been playing, they've been using the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna State for their home games because the Kotangora Stadium in Minna was under renovation, and that stadium is having a new look as we speak, and they will continue. Maybe in their next game, their next whole game, they might get the 3 points they desire, they wanted to have. All right, let's leave the shores of the country and go straight to Europe. There were games also the weekend, and then the London Derby, that is in the English Premier Football League. Arsenal continues to dominate Tottenham Hotspur in that derby, but we will look at the result for the weekend in the English Premier League, and one team is back from the dead according to their fans. They were able to beat Starter team, they said, though it was not an interesting win, it was not the kind of win their fans wanted, but the 3 points is in the bag. That is what matters for Eric Ten Hag and his boys. Now, against Starter team, Manchester United beat Starter team 3-0. Brighton and newcomers Ipswich Town played a goalless draw. Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park were held to a 2-2 draw by Leicester City. We have Fulham against West Ham United, another London derby, and then that is 1-1 draw in that particular game. And then Liverpool surprisingly lost to Nottingham Forest 1-0. Ola doing so well in that game. Also in Leicester City, Wilfred Ndidi doing so well for Leicester City, and I'm happy that Nigerian players are doing well in their respective clubs in Europe. For Nottingham Forest, we have Ola playing fantastic game in that particular one. The last time Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest at Anfield was in 1969. Calculate it and you know the number of years. And then for Manchester City, they struggled against Brentford at Etihad Stadium 2-1. It ended. Aston Villa were losing this game from a losing position. They came back. John Duran getting goal of the season in that particular one at Villa Park against Everton. 3-2 it ended. And Chelsea beat Bournemouth 1-0. Chelsea also doing well in that game against Bournemouth. Tottenham Hotspur lost at their stadium to Arsenal. Like I said, Arsenal continued the dominance in this derby. 1-0 against Tottenham Hotspur. It's also a London derby where Fulham and West Ham United played a 1-1 draw in the other London derby. And then Newcastle United went to Molineux and beat Wolves 2-1. Let's look at the table quickly, and then Michael will react. Let's just have the table while Michael reacts to those results. Let's leave the table on the screen. Michael, I know Arsenal is your team. I know you are a happy man for that particular result against Tottenham Hotspur in their stadium.
Yes, I mean, I'm very, very happy. I almost jumped to explode my screen when Gabriel gave us the bullet soccer punch header in the 64th minute to separate both teams. I mean, Tottenham came banging from all cylinders, but David Raya on his 29th birthday proved to everyone why he is the best shot stopper in the English Premier League. I mean, we saw shots and shots coming left and right and center. Somehow, he was able to tame all the Lions of Tottenham and secure the very important 3 points to shoot themselves back to second place and trailing Manchester City only by 2 points, which the next match will be against Man City. I see Arsenal grabbing the jaws of Man City and kicking them out of the top of the Premier League. Even though Erling Haaland just can't stop scoring, he has rediscovered his form of 2 years ago. Haaland is aiming for a Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi 50-goal season. And that's what we are waiting to see, because he is firing hat-tricks, braces all over the place. That guy is going to be the reason, perhaps, why Arsenal may not secure the league this season. And I must put it on record. Arsenal had Odegaard out, Declan Rice out, but yet, even 7 players out, and yet we're able to nip it to the bud. It shows that the team has developed, it has developed character, and Julian Timber is, right now, the best player in Arsenal, and maybe the best left back in the Premier League for now. You know, that guy can be injury prone. He's a very physical player. I mean, our heart goes out to Liverpool. It was a bad loss. 1969, 55 years ago. I mean, that's the kind of record you don't want against your team. But for the other teams, I'm sure the other Man City, Man U, Chelsea fans will be happy in their hearts about it. That's the truth about the matter. And they should watch out for Newcastle and Aston Villa. Those guys want to usurp the usual suspects. I think that's what's happening now. I mean, securing away victories. Newcastle, watch out for that team. The team looks revamped at the moment. Aston Villa continued from where they stopped last season. And we must say big shout outs to Manchester United. Wow, that was an ouster. I mean, De Ligt did his own. Rashford did his own. Kudos to that team. Garnacho, yes, fantastic finish for Manchester United. Maybe we may have the Manchester United back from the Alex Ferguson era?
Well, that is going to be a very big one for Manchester United if they can actually have that era of Sir Alex Ferguson. But let's see how it goes. But a lot of their fans were not happy with the victory because they said the victory was not interesting. They got the victory, but it's not the kind of victory they want to see the team play. They want to see the team dominate. They want to see a whole lot changing in their team. That is for the English Premier League. You saw the table. Manchester City remains at the top of the table. We have Arsenal second and all that. Let's just go to the second side of the table quickly. Let's look at the flip. Okay, let's look at the second side of the table. Probably, like I said, Man City is at the top of the table, and you heard it from Michael that we will be it's going to be Arsenal, Man City. Okay, for the second side of the table, we have Bournemouth 11th, Fulham on the 12th position, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, Leicester City, Crystal Palace, Ipswich Town, Wolves, Southampton, and Everton. There's still a whole lot of matches to play, just 4 games, and you cannot say these teams will remain at the bottom of the table. I believe the table is going to change. We are going to see some movement come next weekend. All right, let's leave the English Premier League and go straight to La Liga. That is Spanish La Liga. It was also an interesting weekend for Spanish La Liga. Barcelona fans, yes, they will say their team has gotten a revenge against a team that actually gave them troubles last season, Girona, a team that made sure, yes, they qualify for the Champions League at all costs, dislodging Barcelona. But this time around, Barcelona getting their own revenge against that team. Let's look at the result of the Spanish La Liga for the weekend. Celta Vigo beat Real Valladolid 3-1. Barcelona, like I said, trashed Girona 4-1. We have Las Palmas 2, Athletic Club 3. We have Atletico Madrid 3 against Valencia. Valencia has not really started the season well this time around. We have Real Betis beat Leganés 2-0. Real Mallorca lost at home to Villarreal. Espanyol 3, Deportivo Alaves 2, and Sevilla at least getting their first win of the season. Pep Getafe 1-0, and Real Sociedad lost to another Real side, that is Real Madrid 2-0. Michael, I think this Real Madrid thing, they've started understanding themselves. We see Mbappe getting a goal in this game, and we also see Vini Jr. getting goal. The two of them getting the goal, getting the 2 goals for Real Madrid in this game. And now the front line is beginning to get that understanding with their new boy Kylian Mbappe.
Well, I'm not so much of the opinion that the team is getting her groove back. There were just 2, I'll call it lucky penalties, because the defender took down, I think, Vinicius Jr. By mistake. His eyes were on the ball, and then somehow he failed Vinicius Jr., and then he had the penalty. Perhaps the second penalty could be more legit, which Kylian Mbappe buried easily. Kylian Mbappe shows he's a better penalty taker, maybe than Vinicius Jr., because it seems like there's a lot of seamless approach to Kylian's penalty taking kicks. He's showing that he actually should be the #1 option for taking penalties. But let's put the penalties aside. I mean, without penalties, you mean you can't find a cutting edge? The team has been relying on penalties lately. I think even in the last game, we saw a penalty, which one of them also buried. I think apart from this game, Vinicius has buried the penalty. Mbappe has also done the same, even prior to this game yesterday. So on Saturday, I mean, the team is still finding its groove. They've not gotten that little punch yet. It's good they were able to secure the UEFA Super Cup, whatever. Club World Cup is coming soon. The team is still yet to get its vibe. The midfield is not syncing well with the attack of Real Madrid. I think Ancelotti needs to do something about that, because when push comes to shove, you don't get the luxury of penalties all the time. They have to do something. Perhaps maybe the absence of Jude Bellingham is causing that missing link. But I think the team is not sharp enough. A lot still needs to be done. Barcelona are beating Girona away. Lamine Yamal is showing that he's perhaps should be the next Lionel Messi. Okay. A fantastic brace. He shined like a million stars. The La Liga is looking interesting. And Atletico Madrid have shown that there are no pushovers. They are still there hanging in the balance. In case any of those top two teams capitulate, they will just take over the mantle of La Liga. After all, they've done it before. Griezmann is always there with the Atletico team. Very consistent. 15 years running, that team never looks back.
Hi. My name. Hey, I'm cooking.
Is getting on, and we have Bayern Munich step up contract extension talks with midfielder Jamal Musiala, and then the last one on the show, AC Milan, Inter Milan. Three of these teams, Napoli, are keen on signing Torino midfielder Samuel Ricci. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show, 360 Sports this morning. All right, that is the program. Thanks, Abba Michael, for joining on the show. It's a good one having you on 360 Sports, coming to our viewer screen from Trust TV.
Yes, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashemisi. Thanks for watching.